Hey guys, CreamCrazy here, and you know what time it is, don't you? This is Saturday, which of course means it's a pay-per-view tomorrow, because I wouldn't normally do a video on a Saturday. It's time for my Royal Rumble predictions video, and it's a year to the, well, I wouldn't say the day, but it's a year to the show since I started doing these pay-per-view vids, so good on me for doing that. Nevertheless, the 4 matches on this card, which are 3 including the Rumble match, on paper, to me at least, look great. Great, good. They at least the one great thing we know is there's no Divas match on the card as of now, as of Saturday. And that's a great thing because a Divas match will bog down the card, you know? I don't really see the need for them. But nonetheless, I haven't seen such a strong Rumble card. I mean, sure, there's only 3 matches, but they're all good ones based on the people in them. And let's go on with the first one then, shall we? First off, the one match where hopefully we're hoping for one man in formerly denim shorts. I'm not sure if he's still in them or whatever. But nonetheless, we're hoping he can embrace the hate. You know what that is. Because it's Kane versus John Cena. Now this match has so much going into it because we're all praying and hoping that he goes and turns heel or is on the step towards that. We're all hoping, we're all praying that that happens. And I love the way this storyline has gone, where Cena is actually looking quite weak, even in his strongest moments. Kane has re-entered the main event echelons and injured Zack Ryder in the process. Well, injured in inverted commas, and it looks amazing to think that we finally could see we've seen a turning point in Cena's character. More emotion, more intensity, the face. You've not seen the picture of the face of Doom, go look it up because it is awesome. And people would say this is such a tough match to predict on paper because you can basically have Cena reigniting his strength and squashing Kane and reaffirming himself as being Cena, Super Cena, or whatever you want to call him. Then you can have Kane squishing Cena, which I think people are saying is going to happen, where Cena is made to be his most weak, and therefore he needs to embrace the hate to get back to the top. Alright? I would think that's something people would see happening, but to me, no. No way in hell. Because I think Cena has to win to make this feud end right. He's obviously been through shit, and if Cena goes through shit in a feud, he is more likely to win, because that's how he proves everyone to rise above evil. You know, and Kane, in my opinion, is the biggest evil he's actually faced in quite some time. And I just feel that it makes perfect sense, because the main factor is, what does Kane gain from winning the feud? Are these bigger, tougher, and better than Cena? I think we all knew that. He's already managed to get back to the top of the main event level. He's managed to reinvent his gimmick, returning to an old gimmick, but making it something different, and just make himself relevant still. And that's something you can gain from this. But what else will he gain from winning? Further standing in the main event picture. I don't know what else. I don't know what else at all he could gain from winning. Cena gains footing in his feud with The Rock. And I'm thinking, a lot of you are also thinking at home, could The Rock enter in this match? Now, I think that would be fantastic if he did, but I don't think he will. Because if Cena goes on to the Rumble, if he goes on to the Rumble match, like many predict he can do, would The Rock interfere there and screw him? And that's what I think could happen here. But I think the only way to make Cena, if Cena's going to have that happen to him later in the night, he'd have to win, wouldn't he? I feel as Cena needs to regain strength, he could win, he should win this. However, he must not win it by squashing Kane, because Kane has featured so strongly recently that we can't have Kane, a man who has beaten the crap out of Zack Ryder and injured him, and then gone and beaten the crap out of Cena and lowered his, well, I would say, self-esteem somewhat. He's effectively taken Cena down a peg. And you can't put Cena back up a peg by completely destroying a really strong entity like Kane. The pacing of the match, the offense of the match has to be even. And that means both of them remain strong going out of this pay-per-view as they were going in. How about that? If that doesn't make sense to you, well, I've lost you. I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes. Next up, we have Daniel Bryan defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Big Show and Mark Henry in a triple threat steel cage match. Now, people are probably saying Daniel Bryan wouldn't win anyway in a triple threat standing against these two giants. Because it's in a cage match, it's even more exemplified. that he's not going to win. Well, you know what? It is possible. The rare underdog heel victory would be something in my mind saying to me he's going to do it. Because he's suddenly turned heel, Daniel Bryan. I'm impressed that he's done it with a bit of poise and intelligence. He hasn't done what Christian's done and just completely make an arse of himself, or make him a cowardly heel where he will run away from things. Because Daniel Bryan is not afraid to run away from anything. And I feel he will win this because the Giants are going to take each other out. And I know Big Show has a leg injury. That's not going to work out too well for him, I don't think. He's probably going to have really restricted movement or be taken out by someone else leading up to it. And I feel the only way that Daniel Bryan could win is if he escapes over the top. Because imagine Daniel Bryan pinning Big Show or Henry. It's going to look so unrealistic, so unbelievable that you wouldn't want to see that. I don't think anyone would want to see that. And that's a travesty, really. Because it means that basically the only way he can gain legitimacy against these two really strong competitors is to basically win the old-fashioned way, which I have not seen in so long. Most cage matches are ended by a pinfall or submission finish. I want to see a guy actually escape the cage. Because you agree with me, this hardly ever happens anymore. Also, I would feel that if Y2J wins the Rumble, it'd be great to see Punk as champion and Bryan as champion, to be able to choose over two of the best wrestlers in the world to have a match with. That actually makes you want to salivate all over that idea, because it is fucking awesome. And I have to say that even though if Y2J doesn't win the Rumble, I'd still love to see those two as champions. I feel that Bryan could. The fact is, I know that Show and Henry will probably take each other out. They will literally try and destroy each other, giving Bryan the opportunity to sit back, relax, and hopefully just gain some upper handing on these two. He will win it, no matter how. No matter how against the grain he is as a world champion and generally a contender in a match of this nature. He may be 195 pounds, he may be 5 foot something, but Daniel Bryan is a lot better than you. That actually tells. Because, okay, sure, Big Show and Mark Henry are 422, 444 pounds. They obviously have the upper hand. They are stronger. They are taller, well, in Big Show's case, and they would definitely be able to pose a threat. But with Daniel Bryan, you can never count him out. And in my opinion, I know I'm a fan of his slightly. I keep feeling he will win. Because if Big Show and Henry take each other out of the game, he's got a clear upper hand of winning. And I feel Bryan needs to gain legitimacy as a champion. Beating these two would definitely solidify him as world champion. He won't be a paper champion in giving it back to Big Show or back to Henry so quickly after, well, when I say so quickly, it's been 5 weeks. No, I think it would be a bit quick, and I feel that if he needs to hold it, he needs to hold it until February 19th, when Elimination Chamber comes back round. So, is it February 19th? What? I don't know, it's mid-February time. But Daniel Bryan needs to keep the championship. Simple as that. And then we get to one of the more interesting of the three. I think best one, because there's a lot of options available. This is CM Punk defending the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler. Of course, his compadres, Vicky Guerrero and Jack Swagger, banned from ringside. But you may think that's great, but if you don't know, John Laurinaitis, Mr. Charisma himself, I cannot believe I just said that live on a YouTube video, he's going to be the special guest referee. Now, despite the implications that Laurinaitis is going to have on this match, we know he's going to basically screw Punk out of it. It won't hinder Punk in the slightest at all, because I feel he will definitely win. And I know you're thinking, oh, you're a huge Punk mark, Fred. You're basically just gonna say it right here. Punk's gonna win. Well, Ziggler has more to gain from this than Punk. You can say that because Ziggler last year had a title match with Edge, made a name for himself. And I feel now, in this match, Ziggler will get into the main event sector with this match. He will be able to come close to winning it, but not, and do all right. And I think he could be a crony for Laurinaitis over this feud. Could actually be good for something in the future. However, we must remember this is what could happen in the future. And we also have to factor in another entity, Mick Foley, because he obviously, we know he's in the Rumble. He, as many people have suggested, could be Punk's right-hand man. And that could be anything to do with screwing Ziggler or beating up Laurinaitis in revenge for microphone. It could happen. But the main factor of this match is not because I know both these guys, Ziggler and Punk, are great wrestlers. And I know that Laurinaitis is referee. And I know this is all good. But the way this match prediction goes, in my opinion, is whether WWE are willing to take a risk. And that risk is to take the title off of Punk and put it on Ziggler, who has an unproven ability at the top of the main event to carry the championship and a brand. Punk can do that. And would WWE be willing to make such a risk? In my opinion, no. Because WWE is not in a risk-taking mood. So they will keep the title on Punk. And that usually isn't the way I would calculate a match, but at least it makes sense. And I feel that even with Laurinaitis in this match, somehow, I'm thinking right now with this migraine headache head I've got, that I don't even think Laurinaitis will be the one counting the pinfall, because he'll be taken out in some way. I can feel this match will bounce back and hit all of them in the face on Raw the next night on Monday. That should be something that could happen. Punk will win. It'll be a close match, I'll definitely say that for sure. It'll be wild, it'll be crazy, it'll be everything you expect a big title match, at least kind of one of the big 4 pay-per-views to hold together. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, the 2012 30-man Royal Rumble match. Everyone's favourite, and surely one of mine. It returns for another year, and I may remind you it's 30-man, not 40. And I actually quite liked the Rumble last year. Gave it 2.5 stars, I think. And I feel this one, returning to its 30-man format, and we know that anyone can appear in it, means this match has so much possibility going on. Please, guys, I will remind you, do not put any spoilers of surprise entrants or twists in the comment section. Please do not do that. That is bad, and I want to watch the Rumble and love it for what it is when it happens, you know? Because, guys, if you have no clue right now, the tarmac on the road to WrestleMania has been laid, the car has been taken off of its display stand, the dealer has finally given us the key. All we have to do on Sunday night is tip the thing in the ignition, rev the engine, and start that drive. Because the road to WrestleMania will begin with this match. And you know what? This year's Rumble, in my opinion, appears to be bigger and more open than ever before, because this Rumble's going to lack a few guys. Alberto Del Rio, the 2011 winner, is not going to be in it. We know at this moment probably that Randy Orton may not make it, and even though he was back on SmackDown, I feel maybe for a medical precaution he would screw somebody out of the Rumble, say Barrett, rather than going in it himself. I don't know at this point. It allows a chance a number of mid-carders to be able to basically show what the Rumble is meant to do, which is build people, build them up, and put them in the main event spotlight. That's what it is there for. And it should also be a reward for their hard work climbing the ladder to get that match win that everybody wants. Because I don't think there's anybody on the WWE roster, whether you've won it before or this is your first time, that you wouldn't want to win the Royal Rumble. It's a big match, and it's hard to predict, but because it always can spring some surprises, people. And we got to think in the John Cena scenario. Keep an eye on The Rock. Will he enter or not? Y2J returned. Good God. We got this surprise entrance that could come in. With some shock twists I've heard online, but I don't actually know what they are. Got to keep reminding you guys so you don't effing tell me. And as it is in St. Louis, Missouri, Randy Orton's hometown, will he spring on Orton's a Cena moment and win the thing? Will he actually just go in, clear house, and nearly win, like he did in 06? Got to think here. But also, I would also think unannounced free agents. Not just returns from guys like Christian, Rey Mysterio, those kind of people, but unsigned free agents. Guys who we have no idea. And also, because everyone's allowed in, it means that even Punk and Bryan, the world champion and WWE champion, can enter this. So that could actually, fuck it, even Laurinaitis could technically do it, which is a bit worrying. But anyway, those are all the factors. Now I'm going to go into my predictions on this. Now my favourite, even though I did mention out there he has a high likelihood of being screwed by Orton, Wade Barrett is my favourite, because he's been on a roll since the feud with Orton kicked off. He's regained momentum that he had with the Nexus, and he continues to impress me. And I know I'm British, and that would obviously be something to obviously state is why I love Barrett. He is British, and it's great to support your local guy. Well, he's not local, he doesn't come from this side of the country, but I feel he could be a big face of the company if the WWE actually get the booking of the guy right. And I think that if they do make him win the Rumble, more heel heat for him, possible championship, which he should have got last year, but I'm happy now he hasn't got it. Because he was able to go down to the bottom of the pack on a brand and then rebuild himself back up. And that's great. Now, this guy, Wade Barrett, has the chance to do what neither the British Bulldog or William Regal, the two biggest British talents on WWE television, well, minus Dynamite Kid, because he didn't really take part in the Rumble, I don't think. But those two have the chance, he has the chance to do what those two have never done. And that is win a major accolade. No, I know Regal won King of the Ring, but that's nothing. Not now, at least. The Rumble is a big match, and this could solidify and cement Wade Barrett's place in the WWE for years to come. Most definitely. And this is the most important match of Wade Barrett's life, because if he loses this, what's going to happen to him? Because I'm a bit worried. Because he's built up this Barrett barrage, all this anticipation about him, all the way from back in October up until now. It is built up to this moment. And if he doesn't win it, I will be quite shocked. But that's why he is my favourite to win. It's good to have one, and I feel he could do it. This is his year, 2012, hopefully. My second contender is, of course, none other than Mr. Rock and Roller Chris Jericho, Y2J. Because seeing as he has returned, he is automatically a contender, no matter who you are, okay? And he's one of the few massive names in recent memory, ladies and gentlemen, who has not won this match. The other two being Kurt Angle and Kane. And it seems this needs to be rectified, doesn't it? You think it's a crime that he's not won this match. It is a complete crime that Jericho has never won the Royal Rumble. And it feels that it needs to be done. If this Punk and Y2J angle is going to happen, it'll be an easy way of building it from the grassroots up. Elimination Chamber victory for Jericho wouldn't really do anything for him, would it? It wouldn't build the feud at all. And I would think if it gets to set this feud in stone from this moment on, it'll be fantastic. And I feel it'll be more significant for him in the long run, because it gives Y2J some relevance now. I mean, sure, he came back, has been quiet as hell, but he hasn't done anything. If he wins this, he'll immediately be back on the top of the pedestal where he belongs, won't he? And also, gotta keep this in mind. He said on Raw this past week, at the Rumble, it'll be the end of the world as we know it. Now, what the hell does that mean? I have no clue. Could it just be him winning the Rumble and turning the WWE on its head? Could be anything, ladies and gentlemen. And that's something important we've got to keep in the back of our heads when we're watching tomorrow night. My third favourite at medium odds to win is Sheamus. Now, the one thing I love about Sheamus right now is he's not really involved in much. This could be considered, and has been considered, bad. And because a lot of people saying, oh, he's getting a gigantic pop all the time. And he does get a gigantic pop. And he should be used for more than just Jinder Mahal's... basically using Jinder Mahal as a punching bag. But I feel this is perfect, as he's now focused on the Rumble match more than anyone else. Because he's been in this verbal spout with Wade Barrett, right? Saying, I'm going to win the Rumble. And he's been focusing on that all the time when he's not been in the main event or mid-card scene. That's actually really good to say, he could win this. He's got no momentum going before it. He's had nothing going on for a while, hasn't been in the title picture for the best part of a year. Why wouldn't he? Why hasn't he got a chance? And he has the status of as a main eventer, will basically not decrease or increase. He's actually there, and it should be good come Rumble time. He definitely has a chance. And also, it'll actually show if when he does win, it'll be a surprise to some people, and it will be felt as a benefit of what shallow booking the WWE has done since Christian's injury left him with nothing. Sheamus will be solidified as a main eventer forever. I mean, sure, people would say this recent time he hasn't really been a main event guy, but hell, to me, if he wins this, he's there. No way he's moving. He's not going to dip down where he is now ever again if he wins this. And he's going to go in to his second ever live televised WrestleMania as a championship contender. It could happen. I mean, sure, last year he was just with Daniel Bryan putting on a great shortened match on the dark match at WrestleMania, which was not good. Not good at all. So this should be something for Sheamus to fight for. And finally, my lowest odd favourite, and when I originally picked this guy as my favourite, I thought he's got a good chance. And the guy is none other than Mr. Awesome himself, The Miz. Now, seeing as The Miz is now the #1 entrant as of Monday, it may seem like he has no chance, but you must never count out this charismatic enigma that is The Miz. We must never count the guy out. He's obviously still going to have to get past R-Truth to have any chance of winning this proper, because we know R-Truth could easily screw him out of this thing. But if he does get past him, if R-Truth comes in early and Miz fights out and eliminates R-Truth, then at least we know that Miz has got a fighting chance. Okay? And Miz might be a cautious choice for a winner based on it. But believe me, The Miz will be a complete legitimate up there forever main eventer, just like Sheamus will be if he does win it. And winning it from #1 is even better. He wins it from #1, he's in the history books, the third guy to do it, along with 2 other great stars, Michaels and Benoit. So therefore, he has a bloody good chance, even if it does seem very unlikely to go from start to finish. Because it has been done before, the 2 guys I've just mentioned. So, he may be #1, but you must never count a guy like Miz out. And guys, that is the end of my video. Sorry if I've been a bit hyperactive, but my brain is going into overdrive with this effing headache. And it's something to do with a migraine nonetheless. I'm feeling a bit drowsy. I'm trying to keep myself awake. I've just had a yogurt, so this could be the sugar low from that. Nonetheless, I hope you're all looking forward to the Rumble as much as I am, because I'm bloody loving this. I haven't been this happy and excited for a pay-per-view in so long. Guys, just remember, click the subscribe button up there if you haven't. Click the video thingamajig up there to watch my previous videos if you haven't. Like button is down there. Also, comment section. Comment on what are your predictions for Sunday's pay-per-view. Also, remember the 3 points. Add me on Facebook. Search CreamCrazyWR on Skype. And ask me Q&A questions. All the info will be down there in the description box. Guys, I will see you Monday morning for the review of the Royal Rumble 2012. I've been Cream Crazy. You've been people watching. This has been my Rumble predictions video. I will see you then. Cheers.